would I film photography at a wedding?
How many dump trucks can be in this city?
2,
100 dump trucks total live in our city, and we've seen all of them this morning. Here we are, construction project, talking about would you film photography on a wedding day?
Would I use
and would you
day?
film photography on a wedding day?
I don't know. I've seen people
You
who do
have.
it really well. I've used Super 8 film.
That's
but
film
not,
photographies.
I guess you're right. But there's people who I've seen who do it really, really well, and I don't think it's something I would do for stills photography necessarily.
I find that it slows me down, which is
Yeah.
a good thing when you're out trying to create artwork in the world, but a bit of a bad thing when you're at a fast-paced wedding day. So if I have lots of time in the timeline, we film photography.
Let's do it.
Also, cost is now a factor.
Yep.
As of January 1st, film prices have gone up, and I'm going to say in Canada here it's a $50 round trip for a roll of film to buy it, to process it, to scan it, and to send it to your couple. So are you $1.25, that's not the math, but it's close,
Yeah.
committed to a 35 millimeter film?
And if something breaks, you don't have access to understand that until you get the film back. So it's not like... for providing a product for customers, clients, couples, you want to make sure that you have a guaranteed kind of product at the end of the day. So oftentimes when you're doing film photography, I've seen this from other photographers, they will take digital frames of the same kind of scene just so they have a backup basically. And yeah, so I think from a customer service standpoint, I understand like there's like a novelty to it. There's some really nice images you can get from film as opposed to shooting digital, but at the end of the day, I want my couples to have photos of them looking their best. And if I capture one of those on film and it doesn't work out, I feel kind of pissed about that.
Yeah. Well, you got to be like, this may or may not work out. I feel like couples are down with that.
Yeah.
I will also say Friday, my couple has requested film photography and is willing to pay additional for it.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
okay. So maybe it's something you add on to your packages.
So maybe it's an add-on.
Maybe it's an add-on. I'm shooting
nice.
a lot of Super 8 right now, and it's going to be an add-on next
very
year.
cost effective.
Not cost effective, but it's fun.
How much is it for 3 minutes of Super 8? What's a roll of Super 8?
It's 2.5 minutes, 50 feet of Super 8 costs $100.
Is that enough?
Processing,
Should it be more
scanning,
expensive?
and the film itself.
Yeah. I bought my film from a place in California, so it is even more
Where's that? Can
expensive.
we plug them?
Pro Super 8 millimeter.
Okay.
I don't know. They're good. Scans are good. So if you have not shot Super 8, you probably go on eBay, you buy a camera.
Yep.
It functions. You hope it functions when it shows up. You put weird batteries in it that you've probably never seen before.
With tinfoil, because the mercury batteries that they used to make for these in the 70s and 80s
you
no longer
had
exist.
to make yours bigger?
You have to make yours bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. A
I've
1.3
done
volt
that.
with
It also depends where the pads are. You can also use gaff tape, which seems less risky than tinfoil.
Well, you
I
need
have
a
few
conductive
cameras.
material because the batteries aren't as thick, right?
Oh, you're going for thickness. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine was not big enough circumference-wise, so I had to add to the so it didn't just bounce around.
Got it.
So you get that. You figure that out. You hope it works. You go do a test roll, and it costs you a bunch of money.
Yep.
And usually I would say it's the same with you in Canada, that when you purchase it, you can usually sign up for a package deal that includes processing as well as scanning.
Yep. That's right.
And you sign up for that and do it probably in the country that you live, because if you're like me and you were like, this company looks good, and you get it from the States, it becomes a heck of a lot more expensive, and now you have to ship film internationally, which comes with another set of challenges.
For sure.
Potential failure point, I guess.
Yep.
Super. It's fun though. It looks like nothing else. Like you can't emulate it. You can fake it, but it'll never feel quite as good.
Yeah.
I would say all film things, it's nice because you shoot it and you're done. Someone else processes it and scans it and does all the things.
And what you get is what you get. And as we said in the beginning, like it's a lot to do with the experience of it. Like when you show up with a Super 8 camera or a film camera, people are like, "Oh, are you shooting on film today?" Like there's a bit of a novelty factor that you get with the experience of shooting on film. I think it's a fun thing to do. For stills photography, I don't know if I'd be there quite yet. I think it's something I need to practice outside of the wedding day. But for Super 8, shooting on film, what a hoot, what a blast.
Third shot a wedding that Lindsay, I was not hired for.
Okay.
On my M6 with film. I am definitely, it's going to take me another time. I did not do a great job.
Okay.
I got a few frames that I like, but overall the process was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And I found that, I don't know, usually I get a number of keepers on a wedding day. This wedding day in film, not so many.
Not so much.
Well,
Well,
it's
I
kind of
think-
like, maybe
really
let's not do this again.
I think
But
for your pace, the way that you work and the way you've kind of taught Lindsay and myself to work is move quickly, so you don't have your couples thinking too much about what they're doing, what their hands are doing, what their faces are looking. Keep them moving, keep them not thinking about how they look, and you'll get better images. So to have to slow down and like, oh, hold on a second, guys, I have to get the light meter here. close to your chest because it's been blown out. That looks cool. Can you move her hand? Because I only have like 6 frames left. Can you just move her hand up a bit? Okay, cool. The expression of the spontaneity of the joy of the moment is kind of gone with that. Once you have them thinking about their hand placement and you start looking at light, they start to think about the photos as more of a technical thing. Maybe they'll start to contort their faces different ways. Like it's not part of our regular experience of what we've kind of sold for couples.
Yeah,
So
and I would say it's very difficult as a second photographer
Yes.
to do that and to not have control over the setups and to just be, I don't know, like usually second photographer, you can get a bunch of frames that are nice you're probably shooting more frames than you need to in order to get those exact moments where somebody's not facing the other camera or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a challenging experience to shoot as a second photographer using film. So not recommended.
No.
As a main shooter, if you do have a film camera, maybe it came down to you and your family, I'm talking still camera,
Sure.
maybe give it a shot.
Yeah.
See if it works. Have a little bit of fun. Do some test rolls out in the world before bringing it to a wedding day.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. It definitely does. There's some magic in there. Every now and then you get a frame that, well, all of the frames are not frames you could ever create in digital. But every now and then you get one that really kind of stands above all others.
Yeah.
Had you shot it on digital and processed the crap out of it to make it look like film, maybe you could have got close, but you'll never get to exactly there, especially when you're doing prints.
I do think that there's also a culling factor in that if you shoot on film, you're like, oh, these are the 18 frames I got that are like in focus and good and the lighting's fantastic. You're less likely to cull those out because you're just like, there's only so many of them. And you'll look past the imperfections of maybe something you would have looked into more closely on digital because you're like, oh, I have 12 variations of this, so let's pick the 6 that makes sense. But whereas with film, you're like, I've limited to the frames I captured. Let's include them anyway. They look great.
Yeah.
Also, one more point on that. If you are thinking about doing film photography or videography for your couples, pick a time of day. Like do sunset hour and just do a bit of film from there. So like don't feel pressured to do the entire wedding day. Just pick one section of the day and be like, let's just do a few frames from this part of the day. See if I like it. See if the results work. My couples like it. Cool. Add it to your day.
Yeah. And if you are going on vacation and you want to shoot some film, I think that's where it really kind of, I don't know, it's the highlight reel of your experience, and you're very intentional when you're taking pictures. So I will say, as somebody that has traveled to Banff National Park, where our focal workshop is going to be, and you can come to that workshop. It stars Sam Hurd, Carolyn Tran, Nicole Ashley, Scott Robert Lim, myself, Lindsay are the hosts. There's 2 breakfast buffet and 2 lunch buffets included in your ticket.
Wow.
No accommodations, but you get food.
That's fantastic.
And get an Airbnb. Don't stay at the hotel we're at because it's kind of expensive and kind of not great, but there are Airbnb units within the hotel or nearby.
What does the day look like when you wake up in the morning?
The day?
What do you have planned so far?
You wake up, you get that breakfast buffet, and then you head off with one of the mentors. And you get to go take pictures. We set up shoots for you. You have lovely portfolio generated in the mountains. Maybe if it's your first couple years in the industry, you might not have access to a destination wedding like that. Now, all of a sudden, you get those images. And then you come back for a lunch buffet, and then you switch it up. So you're basically doing a half-day workshop with all of the instructors.
Over the course of 2 days.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we might have a special guest. We're going to find out this week. There might be a very, very extra special guest. And if I know any more information by the time that I'm editing this, I will put it in front here. If I don't know that there's a special guest, and it's not Tom Cruise, but maybe next year. We'll get more budget next year.
Maybe special guest. Maybe not.
I sold my Canon 50mm f1.2L
RF.
glass RF prime
Wow.
USM for the Nikon for the Canon
For the
mirrorless
Canon
series.
mirrorless
Doing a
series.
lot of stuff with a bunch of different companies.
What?
It's gone.
Why? Why would you do that?
I don't like 50. I tried real hard to like 50. I made a video.
Yep.
And I felt by making a video about it, it was going to commit me to actually sticking with it and really learning it.
Yeah.
Shot that wedding day with Sam Hurd that went up on the channel last week. And,
Great video.
Go check that out. It's
Here or here?
real nice. Real nice.
Or the little thing. It's a thing, right? It'll be a little thing at the top.
It's a little clicky at the top.
Okay.
He shoots the entire day. I think up to the ceremony it was just all 50. He has 250. He's got the little pancake 50 and
1.8,
which is close focusing, which is great for details, and also just not looking super intimidating. And then the 51.2 for when things get a little more real, or the 51.8 does have some limitations as far as how gross out of focus areas in the background look. So specifically greens, if you're photographing. I guess there's no greens, just construction behind us, but there's trees over here.
Yeah.
And if the trees, the leaves, the way that it all comes together feels a little aggressive and harsh. So there are things to be aware of with that smaller 50. what I've discovered is that I really just like my 85 and my 35.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm back to. And I have the small 50 in case I need it, but
85, 35.
35. It's nice. That Samyang for the Canon mirrorless system. It's nice.
It's great.
You don't have? Do you have it?
I have it.
Everyone has it.
Everyone has that.
Marshall has it. Lindsay has it.
Tyler, you got that 85 1.4? He's thumbs down.
Tyler doesn't have it.
Not yet.
They made some nice lenses, and they're autofocus, and it's a 1.4 85,
Yeah.
which is kind of my perfect spot. And then Canon makes a 1.8 and a 1.2. 1.2, very heavy, very expensive. 1.8 doesn't really do everything you need.
Nope.
And then a 1.4 would be nice. So hopefully coming in the future with their 500 lenses that are being released in the next couple of years or whatever the roadmap is, I hope that there is a 1.4 on there.
That'd be great.
To test up against the Samyang 85.
Well, why did you sell your 50? Back to the thread. What happened? What made you not love it as much as Sam Hurd would?
I think just the focal length. I'm
Okay.
just I'm not a 50 shooter. I like 35 and I like 85.
Yeah.
And 50 seems like the perfect blend of the two. And I don't know. I just couldn't really get used to it. I tried real hard, and I found that nothing really felt as good as either my 85 or my 35 when I was shooting it. That's the story.
That's
and
fair.
to keep a product that's that expensive and also that heavy in your bag all day, if you're not going to be using it to kind of the fullest, I think that was kind of the decision maker, that I was bringing my 85 anyways.
Yeah.
And I was bringing my
35 all the time.
35 and the smaller 50. So it kind of just got knocked out, sadly.
That's sad.
So yeah,
R.I.P.
RIP.
50.
But other than that, what did you do? How many weddings did you shoot? 100 weddings this weekend and a child's birthday party?
Yeah, I shot from Wednesday. I had a wedding, elopement up in the escarpment of Ontario, and then I had a child's birthday party, which was a lot of fun. Dinosaur themed. It was awesome. I'll show a picture here, like dinosaur themed for my nephew, and then 2 weddings back to back.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I did 1 photo wedding, 1 video wedding. Photo wedding, so chill.
yeah. Where was that?
5 hours, same spot. Just kept going back to the same venue.
Yeah,
It was very nice. There will be a video of that coming out on the channel for sure.
great.
And also I filmed a video on the way to the wedding.
Okay.
So that is also going to be out
In your car.
eventually, yes, in my car, which is a polarizing topic. People don't like when I do videos in the car, even though I just put a camera up and just talk and just drive like normal. But people get angry.
Okay.
So
Well, if we were in a car right now, I'm sure they'd be extra angry because
yes,
double.
they would be. We've done that though. Yeah, and then I did a video wedding for Lindsay
Okay.
where I shot pretty much everything on the 85.
Yeah.
So you can do a video, full wedding video on an 85 millimeter lens if you so choose. And then at some point you do have to do a 70-200, I think, to get around. You can also do what you do with the 28-70, but I felt that it was more appropriate to do a 70-200. There's the 2 remaining dump trucks. I was worried that we wouldn't see all 100 from the city, but we did. We saw them today. Exciting weekend. Many videos to come.
Excited for that.
And I don't know what order this is going to go up in, but Eric Hercules and I did a video in New York City that will be out either tomorrow or it was out yesterday. So either way, go check it out because it is another one of my favorite videos. We do a thing called angle studies, which is a thing that Eric made up, I think. They're just walking around New York, just looking up, finding different ways to photograph the same thing that everybody photographs all the time and make it feel a little bit different. It was really, really cool. He moves really fast and I had to like kind of jog at a pace and also keep a camera on him. So it's a fun video. And you should go watch it.
Yeah. Speaking of learning from other professionals in the wedding industry, there's a conference coming up in Banff,
Wow.
Canada.
2 breakfast buffets and 2 lunch buffets. So head on over to the link in the description if you do want to come take some pictures with us. I know we make light of the sponsor of it, but honestly, like it's going to be an incredible conference. It's put together by Focal, and yeah, it's going to be nice. It's not a conference. It's the opposite of a conference.
What would you call? What's the working title? Right
We
now?
didn't come up with a name. We tried real hard.
Is that the name? I've heard a
I
couple
think
people
so.
commenting that.
I think the name is now that we just don't have a name for it. So I think
Okay.
that's become the thing.
no name
and-
conference. Yeah.
I don't know. Why do you need a name? We're going to a spot to take some wedding pictures.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to be really, really nice. So come on through to the Focal Banff Knot Conference Workshop Series.
in
Focal
Banff.
Photo Folk Festival. Right?
2 buffets.
2 buffets. No, 4 buffets.
4
total.
buffets.
4
Two-
buffets.
2 buffets.
2
a day.
breakfast, 2 lunch. Wow. And yeah, come get yourself fed.
Yeah,
I
man.
think that's the moral of the story today. And we're going to be off to do our real life business week now.
Yeah.
We record these early on Mondays. And all the trucks are out now, so I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
Camera didn't overheat again.
How we doing?
Do we just leave?
Yeah, we just leave. I think we just leave
This is our stuff, though.